Hey, it's Jack. Thursday. What a difference a day makes. Last week we were looking at the Dow Jones selling off 1,000, people getting scared. Let me just tell you what I do personally. Maybe this will help clear some things up. So I trade a lot. You know that, almost every day. I do a lot of options trading. I sell a lot of options. I do a lot of spreads. I do a lot of covered calls. Do some directional trading, naked puts, all kind of option stuff, right? And it's risky. Everything you do in the market has risk. The only thing I know of that doesn't have risk is a government T-bill. That's whatever that's paying is considered the risk-free rate of money. But everything else has risk. Now, one thing I do that I don't talk about a lot is I got a large percentage of my wealth, let's say 80%. It's invested in dividend stocks. It's a program called Dividends for Life, and that's exactly what it is, Dividends for Life. And I was talking about this portfolio last week, and a person called in and said, hey, does Jack still own those stocks? There's a lot of money moving into small caps. It's not a lot of money moving into small caps. She must have read that on Yahoo or something and wanted to know if I was moving my money into small caps. Absolutely not. I never do anything with small caps. But let's get back to that dividend portfolio. I am never going to sell these stocks, ever. And, on a big down day when the market's down 1,000 points, people call in, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that thing? I don't do anything with that. And here's why. Now, let's take Coca-Cola, for example. It's around $60 a share, whatever. It could go all the way down to $6 a share, and it's still going to pay the dividend, okay? The other reason why I don't sell these stocks is I reinvest that dividend into more shares. And what that does is it brings your cost basis down. So whatever you look at the yield is on a stock like Coca-Cola, it's not a real high dividend yielding stock, which is great. You don't want to chase yield. But what happens if you just leave it alone, your yield on cost goes up dramatically by not messing around with that dividend portfolio. I'll just tell you something to remember. I'm never going to sell this portfolio, okay? I'm going to pass these stocks on to my little Jack, my grandson, my other grandkids as well. That's where it's going. I'm never going to sell it, right? So now when I open up that portfolio and I look at my brokerage account, most people look at the P&L and they're either smiling if it's green or they're crying if it's red. I don't even look at the P&L. All I look at on that is the investment income, because that's all that matters, is how much cash flow does that portfolio throw off. Now, that's where the bulk of it is. T-bills, dividend portfolio. The other percent, I trade like mad with it, and that's cool. But I don't trade with money I can't afford to lose. You should never do that. And you should have, in my opinion, a solid foundation, the chief cornerstone of which would be that Dividends for Life portfolio that you never sell. You just get those dividends and you reinvest them, or you take them in cash, or a combination of both. There's all kind of stuff you could do. But I just want to reiterate, I do not get shaken out of stocks. I do not panic. I do not get scared, ever, never. Now, I did back in my younger days, in the mid-'80s. I didn't know nothing. It was easy for me to get rattled, but not now. I've been in the market 40 years, and I don't panic out. I don't sell out. I'm not like these nervous Nellies. I'm not part of the market that goes down 1,000 and then goes back up, okay? I trade like mad. That small percentage of my money, the bulk of it is in T-bills and dividends. I love Dividends for Life.